Look at what 1 week of heat did to this garden. The heat didn't do it. The way you watered 3 weeks ago did. Deep and rare beats a little every day, and switching costs nothing. And no, sun on wet leaves doesn't burn them. That's a myth. Mine looked like that in July. The hanging fern crisped brown, tomato leaves curled by noon, soil pulling away from the pot. So I did what everybody does when it gets hot. Grabbed the hose every single evening and gave everything a quick drink. Hey, I'm Maggie. No affiliates, no irrigation guy in my driveway, just me, a bag of mulch, and one habit I had backwards. That quick drink was the problem, not the heat wave, the daily splash I'd been handing out since May. Here's the thing. A light watering only ever wets the surface, and roots follow the water, so they stay right up there. Shallow roots live in the layer that cooks first. Hot week comes, that top layer dries by lunch, and there's nothing underneath. Maryland's extension office says it flat out, deep. Infrequent watering builds a deep root system and makes plants more tolerant of drought. And Penn State names my habit out loud. Frequent light watering encourages shallow root growth and less tolerance for dry conditions. So the fix is boring and free. Water less often, and when you do, soak it like you mean it. Deep means the water gets down at least 6 inches, not a sprinkle across the top, a long, slow soak at the base. I check with a screwdriver. Slides an easy 6 inches down, I'm done. Stops short, the hose goes back on. The tool that made it easy is a watering wand. Long neck, water goes at the root instead of over the leaves. They run 14 to 36 depending on the model, and I'd have paid double for not crawling under the tomatoes. The free version does the same job. Empty bottle holes punched in the neck, buried upside down right at the root. Fill it, walk away. Colorado's extension backs drip at the root, around 90% efficient against a sprinkler's 50 to 70. That's the whole rescue kit on my bench. A bag of mulch, a roll of shade cloth, a wand, one old bedsheet. Everything on that bench together costs less than what one heat wave takes out of a bed. That's the whole trade. Now the myth, because it's the reason half of us won't touch a hose in daylight. I keep seeing it online. Droplets on a leaf act like little lenses and burn holes through it, so never water in sun. A horticulturist at Washington State went through hundreds of publications on leaf scorch. Midday watering never came up once as a cause. Her line is 7 words. Wet foliage is not susceptible to sunburn. Full stop. The real causes are salt, wind, and roots in trouble. Not a droplet doing lens tricks in the sun. So if it's 100 out and your basil is flat on its face, water it right then. It won't get burned. Morning is still the better slot though, for a completely different reason than the one they scared you with. Less loss to evaporation, and leaves dry before dark instead of sitting wet all night growing fungus. Which brings me to skip number 1, and I was guilty of it for years. The daily 5-minute splash. It feels responsible. It's the most caring-looking wrong thing you can do, and it trains roots into the top layer that cooks first. Twice a week, long and slow, changed my beds, and I spend less time standing there holding a hose. Now the cheapest thing on that bench, and the one that genuinely shocked me, shredded mulch. Bare soil in full sun is a hot plate. Mulch is a lid on it. That's the entire mechanism. In a hot season field trial, somebody measured it. Bare ground against a dense mulch cover. The gap reached almost 35 degrees Fahrenheit. Bare soil in the peak weeks was pushing 120 to 135 Fahrenheit. The mulched ground right next to it sat in the 80s and low hundreds. Same sun, same day, a lid on top. Honest caveat, because I'm not selling you a number. That trial packed thick woody material, not straw on a flower bed. With a lighter layer, the gap was closer to 10 degrees. Still 10 degrees, for about $4 a bag. Here's how it goes on. Soak deep first, then 3 to 4 inches of mulch over damp soil, pulled back off the stems. The bag I grab is about $4 and covers a small bed, cheapest degree drop in the whole yard. And it does the other half of the job. Utah State puts mulch at up to a 10-fold cut in evaporation from soil. Careful with that one though. 10 times less evaporation is not permission to water 10 times less often. The plant still drinks on its own schedule. Mulch saves what the sun was stealing, not what the roots take. If nobody ever told you mulch was a temperature tool and not just tidy looking, subscribe, that's the whole channel. Third thing, and it's the one my neighbors ask about most, shade cloth over the bed in the worst hours. It doesn't take away hours of light, it takes away intensity. The plant keeps running, it just stops boiling. The extension office out in Stanislaus County is blunt. As sun intensity drops, you see reduced wilting and sun scald in your crops. It cuts transpiration off the leaves and evaporation out of the soil, and keeps the ground underneath cooler. Around 40% density is the usual pick for a home garden. Mine goes up from 11 to 4, the brutal window. A knit panel with clips runs 15 to 25 depending on size, rolls up and lives in the shed all winter. The free version does the same physics, an old sheer curtain, a bedsheet or burlap over 2 stakes and some twine. $0, and from the road nobody can tell. The cloth lasts seasons, the sheet lasts this week, both cut the sun. If anybody's ever quoted you for an irrigation system, drop the number below. I want to see what they're asking. Pots are their own emergency. A container in July goes from watered to bone dry in one afternoon. What saved mine is dumber than it sounds. A terracotta saucer tray, about $10, with water sitting in it. The pot drinks upward instead of me pouring down, and nothing sits on the surface evaporating while I watch. Somebody's about to say terracotta spikes. They work. I've used them, but that's a pot fix, not a bed fix. Skip 2. Epsom salt for heat stress. $1.25 at the dollar store, and gardeners keep saying it takes the edge off. Not one extension page I pulled for this connects a salt drench to surviving a heat wave. Not one. So it goes in the skip pile, not because it's evil, because there's nothing standing behind the heat claim. Skip 3, and I keep seeing it everywhere right now. Ice cubes on the soil to cool the roots. Everything I found on it is either indoor orchids or a warning about cold shocking roots. It's not an outdoor heat fix. It's also barely a splash of water. Your bed needs 6 inches down. Cubes were never getting there. My neighbor was ready to rip her whole bed out and start over in fall. She borrowed the shade cloth instead. She mulched, went from watering 7 times a week to twice, and the plants she'd written off came back on their own. Add it up. Mulch about $4, shade cloth 15 to 25, and a bed sheet for nothing at all. Against that, replanting a bed I already paid for once. I won't quote you a number I don't have. If you do one thing this week, do the watering. Less often, longer, at the base, 6 inches down. If you do 2, put mulch on top of it. Everything after that is comfort. Save this one. You'll want it the first morning you walk out and the whole bed is flat by 9. Turns out the heat wave didn't kill my garden. 3 years of little daily drinks did, and the fix was free. Smart dollars, real gardens, verified receipts. Tell me below, what's the first thing that goes limp in your yard when it hits 100? I read everyone.